Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And today we're going to be giving you our top 10 favorite family-friendly horror movies to watch around Halloween. Now, we are the parents of two little girls.
Yeah. They don't really like, scary movies, but they do love Halloween. So we like to have family movie nights and watch Halloween movies.
Especially around this time of year, we like to get spooky. So these movies, some of them aren't even considered horror movies, but they do have that spooky element to get the mood going for the little kids. That way you're not, watching the bloody nudity and cursing movies with them.
Yeah,
so,
and they're not like...
Right. This way the kids can have fun with you while you're watching these horror movies. These are our personal top 10. So coming in at number 10 for me would be Edward Scissorhands. This is a movie that really did creep me out as a kid. There's a lot of scenes in this movie like where he's touching his master's face and he's cutting it all up. And there's a lot of darkness to this movie, but it's not overly dark. So the kids can still get into it. They can still enjoy it. There's a lot of beautiful scenery, a lot of beautiful cinematography that the kids can get into. So number 10 for me is Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands.
And number 10 for me is another Tim Burton movie, because you know how Tim Burton does his spooky movies.
Yes.
Is Frankenweenie. And I actually, me and my son, when he was younger, we went and seen this in the theater. And not to give too much away, but obviously the dog, he dies and he comes back as Frankenweenie. And there is, a few little creepy parts about this movie, and it's all done in black and white.
Yep.
So yeah, we enjoyed that movie when we went and seen
Little
it.
pieces of green and stuff here, if I remember correctly. I've only seen this movie once, so this isn't one that I can really attest to.
Yeah.
We don't know each other's list, so we try to make this fun by not knowing each other's list when we go into this. So nice pick. Number 9 for me would be Goosebumps from 2015. I feel like this is an underrated movie. We grew up watching Goosebumps as kids, reading the Goosebump books. And yeah, this is a kid movie, but Jack Black gives an amazing performance in this movie. A lot of the performances in this movie are great, and the twist at the end of the R.L. Stein twist. This is a movie, like I said, the little gummy bears that go around. The kids will have fun with it, but it also has that spooky Halloween feeling to it. So
I really like that
number 9 for me is Goosebumps from 2015.
And number 9 for me is The Goonies. This is probably a movie that you can watch all year long, but I feel like it does have some creepy elements to it. There's the robbers trying to get them, trying to get the treasure, and
the movie starts off with the guy hanging in the jail, like you think he's dead, hanging in the jail cell.
So there's spooky elements to this movie, and this is a great movie to watch with your children or watch by yourself, because it's a really good movie.
Well, especially if you can get the extended cut where they fight the squid down by the boat, like that big old fight down there. That was really cool. So yeah, I could see a lot of spookiness in the Goonies. So absolutely, there's a lot of spookiness to that one. Number 8 for me is another animated film, which is Coraline. This one I feel like gets brushed under the rug a little bit because of the other great things that come from the animated horror world. But there's a lot of this movie that is spooky. And the thing I love about this movie, the cinematography of it, the beautiful colors in this movie are amazing. But like the mirror mom is scary as hell.
Oh, she's so creepy.
The trying to sew the button eyes. Like there's a lot of real creepiness to this movie, especially for young children. So if they want to go out on a limb and do something really scary, I feel like Coraline is about the top of the animated horror films for me.
Okay. And then number 8 for me is Goosebumps. We went and seen this in the theater as a family. And I loved it. It like you already touched on, most of it, but it was a great movie. Very family friendly.
And it reminds me of the book so much and the old TV show. Like there wasn't this big leap, and Jack Black does kid horror movies really good.
Oh yeah. Even
though it didn't make my list, but The House with the Clock in the Walls is another really good family themed horror one. Number 7 for me is one of my favorite, I'd say my top 50 favorite movies of all time. That's Gremlins. This is a fun movie to watch around the holidays, whether it's Christmas or Halloween, because Gremlins is the diehard of the horror movies. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? But there are definitely terrifying parts, like when they're coming out of the Christmas tree or they put them in the microwave. This is another movie that I think is just fantastic to watch at Halloween. And this one is another one that is really that gateway drug into scarier horror films for a child. Gremlins, I think, is a really good step in the right direction, because you also have Gizmo. He's cute and adorable, so the kids love him. So
we have a little Gizmo somewhere.
We do have Gizmo.
That sings.
Yeah, he sings the song. Yep. And Gizmo's, like I said, he's one of the cutest things in the whole world. Our daughters love Gizmo.
She says, don't feed him after
Don't get him wet. So, yeah, number 7 for me is Gremlins.
Funny enough, number 7 for me is also Gremlins. So everything you said.
Right, just repeat that all. all over again. Number 6 is a movie that is definitely not considered horror, but for me, it definitely freaked me out a little bit as a kid, even though I love this movie so much, and that's Labyrinth with David Bowie. Okay. I mean, you got the child being kidnapped, Hoggles, and when they get to the fire things where they're ripping their heads off and kicking them around, the Bog of Eternal Stench. There's so much in Labyrinth that is definitely horror-based, but they take it lightly. So yeah, for me, I gotta go with Labyrinth. And this is not only, I feel like, a great movie to watch at the holidays with the kids, it's a great movie to watch anytime. It does have the horror elements, but it's just a fantastic story, fantastic score and soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
The cinematography of it's great, the little caterpillar. No, I said hello, but that's close enough. I love this movie. Labyrinth is one you can watch all year round, but especially around Halloween, we love to watch this movie.
Yeah. Our son was obsessed with it when he was a baby. We watched it probably 500 times a day.
We really did.
Yeah. So my number 6 is Nightmare Before Christmas. So he thinks this is an overrated film.
I don't like it. I'm sorry, guys. Look,
this is another one. You can watch it for Halloween. You can watch it for Christmas. I love Tim Burton, and I think that Nightmare Before Christmas is a great family movie. Other two didn't get into it, but that's probably because of you. But our youngest one really likes this movie.
Yep. Yeah, our 2-year-old really does love this movie a lot.
But there is a lot of creepy stuff in this movie.
There really is, you know, and I don't want to shit on this movie because that's not who I am, but it's not for me. I don't know what it is. It's one of those things, it's like, for me, it's like Starbucks or The Big Bang Theory. I want to like it so bad. Like,
you
my
don't
body...
like Starbucks?
What? No.
Oh, I gotta go. No, just kidding.
My body wants to like this so bad, but I just can't do it. I can't get into it. Now, again, I respect it. I love it. The level in Kingdom Hearts was one of my favorites. I love the soundtrack. You know, this is Halloween. I think it's fun. It's really a fun movie, but I just can't get into it no matter how hard I try. So, top 5 time.
Okay.
Number 5 for me is probably the scariest movie on my list when it comes to true horror, and that's The Gate. I feel like this is, because it does have the kid element to it, it is, you know, a lot of fun. But this is probably the scariest on my list. Like I said, you have the eyeball in the hand where he takes the part of the mirror and stabs himself, the big ogres that come, the kids and the teenagers. Like, there's a lot of real horror to this movie. So while we're at this number 5 spot, before I go and let you go into your number 5, I was going to put The Lady in White on this list. I went back and rewatched it last night for the first time in probably 20 years, and I couldn't bring myself to put it on this list. There's a whole lot of bad racism in that movie. And it's very scary. Like, going back and rewatching it now, I think I know why I have underlying issues with certain things in my life now after rewatching that film, having not watched it in such a long time. But I didn't remember how truly nasty it was with its racism, which is fine. It's fine in a movie. I'm not trying to cancel the movie or anything like that. But if I wouldn't watch it with my little girls and try to expose them to how much the N-word is dropped and how they try to frame a guy just because he's black. That's the type of stuff that I don't want my children watching. So I wanted to include it on the list. It's a great movie, but I personally wouldn't watch it with my kids, so I wouldn't push that for you guys to watch it with yours. So that's why I don't have The Lady in White on my list. But you can watch it for free on YouTube if you guys want. And again, it's a very scary movie. It has one of the hardest scenes I've ever watched in a film. I'll put it that way, when a child gets killed. So, good movie, but I wouldn't watch it with my kids. I've seen it on other people's lists, so I wanted to include it on mine, but I went back and rewatched it, and I couldn't find it in my heart to do so. So, do you want to go into your number 5, my love?
Yes, number 5 for me is Beetlejuice. Great movie. Actually, I think we're going to have a family Beetlejuice night here this week, because we try to pick a different family movie at least once a week, just to have family time, and we love Halloween. But yeah, Beetlejuice, it's got Michael Keaton, so you can't go wrong there.
I was saying Tim Burton. Like, you have a lot of Tim Burton on your list.
I like Tim Burton.
He's your family-friendly Halloween guy.
Yeah, he really is.
Again, this is what I was going to include on my list, but there's a couple parts where the language is a little extreme, so I didn't include it. But she's the crazy parent, I guess, not me. So it's a fun movie, and it's amazing. You know, Michael Keaton he's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So amazing. And so I could have easily had this movie on you know what? That's my honorable mention. My honorable mention was Beetlejuice. So let's leave it at that. My honorable mention, Beetlejuice. Love the movie. Actually kind of kicking myself in the ass now for not having that on here. Number 4 is another movie that really influenced me as a kid. I think really pushed me into the horror genre, and that is The Addams Family from 1991. Okay. Christopher Lloyd is amazing as Uncle Fester. Obviously, the main cast is brilliant, you know, and as a little boy, I had a crush on Wednesday. I thought she was so hot. Like, and then like the whole idea of how big this house is and all the amazing things that happen in this house, and just how romantic this movie is too. Yeah. You know, but it is kid friendly. You know, there's not a lot of cursing, there's no nudity, you know, nothing like that. There's death and stuff, but it's not extreme, so the kids can watch it. I wasn't a huge fan of Values and the newest Addams Family animated film. One. I'm very excited for the second one. Obviously, we'll see it.
We'll give it another chance. Yeah, but the first one, it was just kind of boring or something. I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah.
Addams Family.
It didn't do it for us, yeah.
Yeah, neither one of us were very big into it.
Even the kids,
my son was just like, sure, whatever. But yeah, 91. Like I said, Christopher Lloyd gives an amazing performance in this movie. This movie actually introduced me also to the Bermuda Triangle and what the Bermuda Triangle is, because Uncle Fester washed ashore on the Bermuda Triangle. So there's a lot of amazing things in this movie, and I love the Addams Family 91. I guarantee you we'll be watching that this year for our Halloween.
Yeah. Every year
we do. Yeah, we watch this one every year. So number 4 for me is the Addams Family.
Number 4 for me is Halloween Town. So it has to do with witches, and it's probably not, it's not really that scary.
This was a Disney original, right?
It was. But I think there is scary parts where they all, like the witches and stuff, get their souls sucked out of them, and everybody's gray. Yeah, I enjoyed that movie.
See, I can honestly say I've never seen Halloween Town.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I've never seen it. And again, not because I didn't want to, which is, I think I was a little bit older and I was in that cynical, this is for kids.
Yeah, I'm much younger than.
Stop. So it's one of those things where I think I was just a little bit older when this came out, and I was that cynical kid that was like, oh, this is for babies. I'm going to go watch Hellraiser. You know, so I've never seen it, but I'd like to. I know the cast that's in it. I see those two are actually still together to this day. I see that on Instagram all the time. The boy and the girl from this movie.
Oh, yeah.
They're together in real life, which is really cool to meet on the set of a film and fall in love like that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the grandma witch. She passed away. I can't think of her name right now. But...
Well, you know what? We can't. It's right here. So rest in peace. I can't comment on this because I don't know.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me, Can I Keep You? Casper from 1995. Devin Outlaw is amazing in the one part he has as human Casper. Cat, another one. I had a crush on Cat when I was a kid. And the beginning part always freaked me out when they go into the house and Casper's like, I'll take the picture. And he takes the picture, and then you see their faces are all elongated and screaming and scared. The uncles are amazing. This obviously more comedy than horror, but there is the horror elements to it. And I want to say this, and I've said this numerous times. The score to Casper 1995 is probably my favorite score of all time.
Yeah.
Not exaggerating. I think the score is beautiful. It's unsettling. It's depressing. It's everything that I love. And I could literally put the score on in the car and drive and just listen to the score of Casper from 1995.
We were looking for the record of it.
Yeah, we couldn't find the vinyl.
We still can't.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows where you can get it.
Leave that comment down here because we would love to have that on vinyl. And I didn't realize it until I got older. We were watching it, and I was just like, man, every single time something's happening, I'm singing the song in my head, and I'm just like, the score to this film is so... I put it, for me personally, I put it up on par with Alien, with Halloween, with Psycho, with Jaws. Like, maybe those are more influential scores, but when it comes to how much I listen to them, I would put Casper right up there with all of them. So, number 3 for me is Casper from 1995.
And number 3 for me is Addams Family.
A little higher on your list.
Yeah, I enjoy this movie very much. I like watching it with our children. I love Wednesday, and I love how everything's opposite and like all this spooky stuff, you know.
That's year round for them.
Yeah. And I mean, because I feel like that's like we're not to that extreme, but you know, we're the weird, we love Halloween all year round type people. So.
And it's one of those things where we're the ones that, when people are out Christmas caroling, we sit up with a cauldron and dump it on them. That's our caroling. So, number 2 for me, the shirt says it all, Ghostbusters. This one, again, there's a little bit of the cursing in this film. And this one I think is, some of the moments are scary. I wouldn't put up with as scary as the gate, but like the librarian scene, I think is absolutely terrifying. When she's getting sucked up in the chair, and the chair takes her back into the room. I think that's terrifying. But you do got a lot of the comedy in this movie as well that keeps the kids watching, and Slimer, you know. And like one of my favorite parts in any movie ever is when they're at the end and Dan Aykroyd's like, where do these stairs go? And Bill Murray looks at him and he's like, they go up. I love Ghostbusters. I've loved it since I was a kid. I'm so excited for the new film. So I had to include this one on my list, and I had to put it pretty high up because it's one that we'll watch for sure this year. So number 2 for me is Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Number 2 for me is Casper. You were talking about all your crushes. Devin's Outlaw.
I still got a crush on
Devin
Outlaw, and I'm a 35-year-old straight man. I still got a crush on him.
Yeah, I love that movie. I love Casper, the uncles, but yeah, there are some, spooky elements to it. It was back in the day when Casper, died from pneumonia. Like just that story was so like heartbreaking, and
the dad dying.
The dad, yeah, and him saving the dad over himself and becoming back. Yeah. I love that movie. It's a great movie.
And before we get to number 1, I just want to throw this out there because I know for a fact you guys may have noticed we got a lot of the same movies on our list. We're married. We've been together 16 years since high school. We obviously watch a lot of the same films, and I can tell you right now that number 1 is going to be the same for both of us. So there's no point in us talking about it separately. Let's just talk about it together.
Okay, hold on a second. You think we have the same number 1?
I know we have the same number 1.
Okay, because I will fight him because I am their number 1 fan.
Yes.
I am the number 1 fan.
Now I know for sure we have the same number 1. Babe, do you want to introduce it?
So our number 1 is Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
I am a die-hard Hocus Pocus fan if you know anything about me. I don't put my Hocus Pocus decorations away. Every year I'm like, hey babe, I need a new spooky basket, and he gets me all the Hocus Pocus stuff.
Every year.
I follow a bunch of Hocus Pocus lovers things on Facebook and Instagram, and this movie, I just love it. I love it.
It's amazing. We love it to the point to where here in a couple weeks we will be going out to Salem, and we'll be working on our film, which is going to be very witch-oriented. We want it to be historically accurate. We want it to be factually accurate.
Yeah, so we're going to go on tours, and we're going to learn all about the Salem witch trials, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's been very fun and exciting for us. But when we talk about the film itself, we talk about horrifying scenes and stuff like that. But I mean, you got the witches being hanged.
They're hanged.
Billy's fingers getting cut off by the van or the bus.
Zachary becoming them making him a cat.
Yes.
And they're sucking out children's souls.
Yeah, it's a dark movie. Obviously, it's a dark movie that's covered in sugar, because the cast is so well done, so greatly casted, and there's a lot about this movie that is you overlook some of the things that don't work out so well, because of how great this movie truly is. It keeps you excited from the front to the back. And you even watch the relationship between brother and sister and how accurate that is. It's not just like this loving brother-sister thing. Like, I promise you...
our middle and our oldest to a T.
I promise you I'll dress up like Peter and Wendy with the tights if you just be quiet.
Or...
Max likes your Bobos.
Max likes your... What do you call them, Max?
Is it Bobos? Is that what it is?
No, we say Bobos.
Yeah, that's what we call them.
Yabos?
Yabos? Yeah. Is that what you call them, Max? Max loves your Yabos.
Yeah, my son would die, and that's something that our daughter would say.
Yes. So I got to go out there and just say, Hocus Pocus, I think when it comes to family-friendly horror movies, it's the best. Because this is the one that really, truly is family-friendly from beginning to end. And it does have a lot of darkness to it, like we were talking about. Even the witches getting burned in the oven. And then coming right back, like, damn, that sucked. But there's also the comedic parts of them, seeing all the kids dressed up. And then they go into the devil's house. And, master. And then the wife of the devil. This is a movie that I think we could talk about all day. We're very, very excited about Hocus Pocus 2.
Yes.
If you keep track of the channel, you'll know, like I said, we're going to have our Salem trip on here. We're going to have all the highlights of it on here. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down there for a whole lot more. This is something we're very excited about. And we're actually going to be going from Salem to Rhode Island to visit the set of Hocus Pocus 2 while we're out there. So we're going to get some things while we're out there so you guys can check it out. Leave us your list down here. Are there any movies that we missed that you would like to see?
Or maybe movies that we haven't seen before and, we could check out with our kids because we're always looking for, new movies, new content.
So if you guys have any family-friendly movies that you watch with your children or you just watch with your dog, sometimes your dog is your baby. I get it.
If I didn't have children, I'd still watch Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, me too. So leave us your comments down here. What are some of the movies that you watch around the holidays with your family and your kids? We would love to know that because maybe, like she just said, there's a movie out there that we haven't seen that our kids and us would enjoy very, very much. So, as always, guys, I'm Ken Sledge.
I'm Ashley Sledge.
Keep talking horror. stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.